Alrighty guys, welcome back here. This is day 2 of the big block Mopar swap into our E34. This is all for the Roadkill event. And anyway, the last we spoke, we talked about how we needed to level the car and level the motor to get everything lined up for installation. And as you can see, if you want to pull it under the car there, everything's leveled. What I did is you just put jack stands on hard parts of the car, like frame rails, subframes, things like that, and then use levels. What I used is a piece of steel across the strut towers and across the frame rails down here. Actually, right here is said piece of steel to level or to measure side to side, getting the level that way. And I also used the trunk lid kind of as a guide. And then front to back, I used the bottom of the rocker panel on both sides. And then just use floor jacks and little pieces of steel on top of jack stands to get the car so it sits perfectly level. Once I did that, I got the motor lined up where it needed to be, and we leveled it front to back and side to side so it matches the car. So this way we can ensure that this motor is perfectly lined up in this car and it's not crooked, twisted, unlevel, anything like that. And then what we had to do when I got it all in here is the whole motor is about 3 inches offset to the passenger side, just to help clear starter things and get a little more clearance on this side. What's next is I'm making the tranny cross member currently, and then we're going to make some motor mounts.
Sweet. Oh yeah.
Pretty fucking exciting, guys.
Yeah. You haven't done anything.
I haven't done anything. But you guys, well, probably unless you guys don't watch our old videos, but my car's kind of built already. It just doesn't charge at the moment.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
We'll see. Chris is not motivated at all to get his shit finished.
So we're going to do an update. It's the first major update in progress on the big block E34 for our Roadkill Ziptie drag episode that's coming up. So what we did is I've been coming in every day a little bit early and building mount after mount after mount. We got a trans mount in both engine arms. If you guys want to check them out here. We just did some pieces of plate, kind of hybrid built, some basic sheet metal and tubing with the old Mopar mount and kind of combined everything and got it to sit on factory BMW mounts on the factory BMW cross member. And officially, we're about to set this on its own weight. So
here's hoping. You just tacked it up for now, right?
Yeah, I just tacked it up. We're gonna set it on its own weight, check to make sure the motor stayed level, everything's good, make sure the center line of the crank isn't angled, and make sure it's parallel with the car. If all of those things check out, then we're going to unbolt everything and pull the motor back out, and we're going to paint the motor, finish welding all the mounts, paint the mounts, and put everything back together. If you're going to do a swap like this, this pan is going to be the challenge. That was what was our challenge. It is a front sump oil pan for a big block Mopar. Only came in very early motorhomes in like 62 to 68 Dodge pickup trucks. So it's very limited selection.
But we managed to get one.
Yeah, what stinks is a lot of people buy these for their muscle car or whatever, and then that pan goes in the scrap dumpster because they put the rear sump pan on, which is what the other 90% of everything requires.
Right.
So these pans are often forgotten about and discarded.
Also, you're good. Look at that.
You looking at the level?
Yeah, no, I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, we're on the mount.
Yeah.
This is officially, this motor is sitting in this car with no help. It is completely on its own weight. What's that?
How'd you tighten into the motor mount on the bottom?
So it has the factory, nut through the bottom of the subframe, and then this bottom plate, we took a nut and welded like a capture nut inside the tubing. So that way, if you ever need to change the motor mounts, you just take the whole arm out and untwirl the mount, twirl the new mount in, and set it back in. So we're slightly to the right, which is good because the car is slightly to the right. And we're just a tad leaned backward. Nope.
Lean forward, right? Yeah, you're leaned forward slightly. Or down.
Yeah, just a teeny bit, but that is 100% acceptable. Yeah. Like it's like we're talking about finite details here. The important measurement is to make sure this crank center line stayed square, because if the motor and transmission are like not, if you're looking at the car like this, if the motor and transmission are in it like that, you will have a drive shaft vibration. You'll never get rid of it. It has to be completely parallel to the chassis, which not even the chassis, it has to be parallel to the center line and the yoke of the rear diff. That's the trick. So we're gonna do some redneck measurement here. And I'm taking a big gamble and assuming that this pulley isn't bent.
I mean, it looks straight, so.
It looks straight.
That's close enough.
It's close enough. So, and I know these bumper shocks are exactly the same distance to the end of the frame rails. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna square us up in the frame of the car. 2 7/8 on that side, which is promising because I'm pretty sure that was the magic number before.
Aaron's still using American metrics.
Yeah, dude, we already went over this. US of A. 2 7/8. It's perfect. As long as that pulley's flat, that thing is perfectly parallel to the chassis in the front. So I figured we would get it off jack stands and set it on its weight so we can see how the suspension's gonna take this. That's gonna get the preliminary weight balance issue, see how bad it's gonna be. And then once we get it on the floor, we're gonna pull the motor out.
Sweet.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
You should show us what you did for the cross member.
Oh yeah, when we put it up, because I'm gonna put it up, take it off the jack stands, we put it up, we'll go over the transmission cross member.
Awesome.
I guess we're looking at the bottom of the car now. It's officially off of its leveling setup. So it's in the air. Everything seems to clear good. We were ultra freaking close on this drag link here though. Like, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but you can just see light coming through that.
Yeah.
It is freaking close. But that'll work, and we already tested the steering. When you go left or right, this actually comes down a little bit as you turn, so that's the highest it'll ever get. Here's a tranny cross member. Last we spoke, we saw the adapter to go to a Chevy trans mount, which worked out good because it actually picked the tranny up to be perfectly level. So like this little spacer here was like much needed, or else we would have had to space it down here. Right. But I'm gonna get all new hardware from the store. Like, we're not gonna use all this mismatched spacer bullshit. We're just gonna get legitimate hardware. But that is the mount and the whole thing in the car. As you can see, it's a snug fit, but it's a good fit.
When you were doing the cross brace, did you figure out the angle that you had to? Because these are on different heights, right?
Yep. Yeah, I can show you the tool.
Right on.
I got this little guy here. I recommend this if you're gonna get into doing your own fab at home. These little like Home Depot, Lowe's angle finders, you just put them on stuff and gravity does the rest. And that's how I figured this out. I just howled it up there like that and got about the right angle, which is like right around 15 degrees.
Yep.
And then I cut it on our chop box down there at 15 degrees and put it up in there and welded it.
And you're gonna make your own drive shaft, huh?
Yeah, that's gonna be the next fab thing, is doing drive shaft. But now that you say that, I almost should throw it in here just to see. But
I wonder.
The idea is I've done a couple of my own drive shafts. I've done a 1-piece and a 2-piece. And what I did on the 2-piece is the rear half I left completely factory and then unsplined it in the center and then had the front section built custom. And that's what I think we're gonna do. That's the strategy on this car. We're gonna do that. But we have to source a drive shaft that has this style end on it, which, because I'm an idiot, I forgot to grab it when I pulled this motor. So hopefully our Mopar buddy, which you guys will probably get to meet, we're gonna talk to him about being on the YouTube channel. But we have a really cool Mopar veteran gearhead guy that's been helping us out a lot. And I'm hoping he has a drive shaft. All right, guys, we are officially gonna put the E34 down on its own suspension, on its own tires. We're gonna see how she sits. So we were talking earlier, just for informational purposes, the M60 is right around like 500 pounds with a transmission, without a transmission.
I think with
the
400 dry.
Yeah, okay, 400. Yes, that makes sense. So probably about 500 with a tranny, like in the car. This combo is 1,000 pounds or more. I think it might be closer to 12 once you get the transmission, torque converter, everything filled. It's a lot of weight, so we're really about to see how the suspension takes it. Tell for reference, a small block Chevy that weighs around 600 pounds with a tranny, in an E30, the suspension bottoms out consistently. Like every bump you hit, it bottomed out.
We might not be able to get the arms out of the lift. Oh, dude.
That's actually really not bad. I mean, I definitely heard it crunch, but...
Yeah, it's crunching on something. But like
it's crunching on something that's bad over here. I have to change it before we go.
Some sort of...
I mean, it's there though. It's definitely heavier than it used to be, because it like like when you do that, it sucks itself right back down. Front oil pan's like the lowest part of that whole setup.
You might want to fab up like a skid plate.
Yeah, I should probably get a skid plate. I don't plan on doing too much hood rat shit with this, so.
Yeah, and it's
Hopefully.
trailering down, isn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna trailer it.
Yeah.
And this is good for like normal ride. Like you could ride on any road like this and be fine. But if you were to like drive over a curb in a parking lot or something, it's gonna be RIP for that thing.
Dude, are you gonna strip the interior?
Dude, I don't know. Everybody else is.
I know you want it to be like nice as well.
Well, and I hate to say it, I really want to beat both of them because Chris is really. I'm gonna agree with Will. Chris is pretty confident about his car.
Chris is super
and
confident.
it has problems quite often.
Yeah.
So like we'll see how that plays out. Will's car might just explode the first time it sees boost, so we don't know about that. I have the best chance at a motor that will consistently run the entire time, but I have the least amount of horsepower. So.
Well, pre-nitrous.
Pre-nitrous, and the nitrous isn't guaranteed. It's like if it's in the budget. So I might strip the interior just to have the edge, just so I can keep up with them. I'm hoping that I could pull off a few like drag racer tricks that I've been taught from like old timers that I haven't informed anybody about, which is like totally top secret.
Good to
I'm
know.
hoping it's gonna.
We'll
I'm
keep
gonna,
that hush.
Yeah. I'm gonna do some fancy shit to like tires and suspension, like real redneck drag racer stuff, and see if we can squeeze a little bit out of it.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd say screw Will and Chris, strip the interior, and then when you want to make this nice, you know, put it back in.
I want to do the tan on black. It's already got the color I want, and the seats aren't in that bad of shape, so.
Well, and we have some shitty racing seats if you want to throw them in.
Oh, I wanted to buy those from Chris. I'm glad you brought that up. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So it's going to have a tan rear seat and a black front seats.
Well, you could pull the rear seats for weight reduction.
Yeah, for the
for this.
Roadkill.
Yeah. So you say you're taking this back out now?
All right, let's see. Yeah, because I got to finish weld everything. Yeah, we're going to pull the motor and transmission out, and then we're going to unbolt the arms and cross members and stuff, and finish weld everything, make sure it's all structurally sound, and then paint it all. And then we're going to clean up the motor and give it a fresh coat of paint and do the whole spray paint rebuild. And then I'm going to pull the tranny off just to check everything inside the bell housing, make sure like it's not missing teeth on the flex plate or some crap like that. So I plan on running this no power steering, and to be honest with you, like this is not that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Because these are worm drive, right?
Yeah, in the rack.
Yeah.
So the E30 was no power steering, but E30s are known for being pretty mild without power steering. And I was worried about an E34 because it's a bigger car, a little heavier. All right, guys, we got the car on the ground. Everything looks really good. It's about as far as we're gonna go today. We got to do stuff to pay the bills. Later on, though, we're gonna do some more. We'll show you guys like painting the motor and what everything looks like all finally assembled with the front clip and the hood on it. I'm glad everybody likes it. Hopefully you guys will like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and feel free to call us if you want to have a build done that's like this, or if you want information on how to do it yourself. We will help you out. We try to be good guys like that. So tell us what you like and what you don't like, and we'll see you again when we get everything ready to go.